Dreadlords are invading Azeroth. New agents in Khadgar. You guys know how I feel about Dreadlords. I talk about them a lot on this stream. I think they're the ultimate be-all, end-all. You know, they're coming for us. Yep, they're everywhere. They're disguised. Let's see what Doran has to say about Dreadlords in the War Within.
So something really interesting is going on in the War Within Alpha. A few years ago we learned that Ratrazim were right about to recruit an Agent of Life, a female agent through the Ardenweald connection. Do you know what connects Ardenweald to Azeroth? World Trees. And the first ever World Tree that probably established this connection is Elunaria. That is almost certainly in Khadgar. Right around the roots, a new race, the Harronir, seem to be the protectors, the vassals of life. Now, all of them have blue eyes, but one character has green. Remember, the vassal of life disguises treachery. Beware the eyes are green. They seem to have a vampiric bat-type form similar to Revendred, and most interestingly, they say they want to remain unseen. Now, do you know a certain race that refers to themselves as the Unseen Guests?
Yeah, the Dreadlords.
It's obviously the Natrazim, and while it is still early to say anything for sure, they might have already began infiltrating Azeroth. So what is even going on? If you want to get Dragonflight or anything else Warcraft related, Gamio has some excellent deals that you can check out with my link below.
Are Dreadlords going to be in the War Within? Positive. 100% they will be. They're in every freaking expansion. But will they actually play a role? They haven't at all in Dragonflight. We have not seen them at all. Doesn't mean they're not around. But will they finally, you know, pull a trigger in the War Within? We'll have to see.
At first, I didn't really read too much into because it seemed really far-fetched, but it's like there's suspiciously enough evidence that this seems to be piling up, but definitely it seems like something is going on here, like there's just way too much to be a coincidence. So, you guys must have heard about the Harronir, the new race, and very likely the new allied race based on how much development they had gotten so far, even though Blizzard is purposefully keeping them hidden. These seem to be dark.
They're like a troll night elf combination, and the reason why I think they will be an allied race, he's probably right about this, is they're just the night elf skeleton. They're very easy to put gear on. It's already happened. When you see a race that can easily be retrofitted onto gear, then you know they could probably be a playable race.
Dark Trolls, and something akin to the ancestors or the missing link between the evolution of the Dark Trolls to Night Elves. Originally, Dark Trolls
I subscribe to that
theory, became the Night Elves, but it seems like these guys remain here, and even more interestingly, with the new alpha information, they seem to be hiding in this place. And months ago, I made a theory that Khadgar is the World Tree Elunaria, and that is getting more evidence by the day. Where
I think he's right about this. You know, everyone's like, yeah, Doran speculates and shit, but the whole Elunaria thing, everyone's saying this, and I think it's true. The crater was probably created by the world tree that was once there. There's still roots in this area, so it makes sense that, yeah, there was a world tree here.
But actually confirmed, everything right now is sort of lining up. Elunaria is essentially the first ever world tree on Azeroth. No such thing existed in the past. This was an unholy alliance of sorts, as the Titan Eonar and the Life Titan Elune collaborated on this. Apparently, they planted this on the site of the most corrupted part of Azeroth in order to cleanse it, but the lead Titan guy Amatul didn't like this idea, so he just yoinked it and created a huge crater. Interesting enough, we had just discovered what appears to be the 5th Old God mural right in Khadgar that might imply that an Old God was present here that was possibly defeated by his own in the Black Empire Civil Wars. Hence, this spot might have been the most corrupted part of Azeroth. This all really seems to line up, as we got a mural in the lowest most layer. We got Old God servants and Nerubians living there. We got Old God blood. We got a ton of these Old God corruptions everywhere. We also got roots, ancient guardians, protectors, and various nature beings. Even more interestingly, the
Damn it. I'm fucking muted. Shit. Such a rookie streamer. Fuck. Okay. Alright. Let's try that again. Okay. What was I? Maybe it's better this way. Okay. I was saying. Yeah. Fuck me. Doran's cooking today, as I was saying, because Doran's cooking today because all of this stuff is very much related. We got the roots in the ground where the old world tree likely was. We got a crater that has been filled in with freaking old god corruption and shit, right? We got obviously the old god mural in the raid where these damn these bug people were being sacrificed. I'm forgetting their name right now, and it's all connected. It's all connected. Why would the old gods show up here? Most likely because there was a world tree here. Why was there a world tree here? Because it was an interesting point and a very important point into Azeroth, right? It's all connected. It's all connected. Why did the light crystal crash here? Also because an important point in Azeroth. We're probably going to find out that besides the Maelstrom, this spot on Azeroth off the coast of Pandaria is somehow very much connected to this world tree / Azeroth's world soul itself.
Book stated that unknown guardians came to
muting himself, making the 3 hours of WoW lore take an extra hour cause we all waiting for him to brick keys.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't even know what to say.
To nurture what remained of the World Tree, and these druidic dark trolls came in and they all got root like armors, and they seem to be the main race of the zone, and by all accounts it could be them. So that is all the backstory, but where do the Dreadlords come into play here? The alpha on the Harronir just started, so we don't have all that much information, but we have data mined some oddly interesting things. From what we could gather, the Harronir are generally blue-eyed, and most models we had seen with blue eyes, but Orvenia, what appears to be one of the lead characters, he has green eyes. You can confirm this yourself, just go to the WoW head customization for the Harronir and you will see that there are no other options other than blue and just no vision. That immediately leads us to the very famous quote.
You know what the green eyes theory was once Illidan. Everybody thought, well, Illidan has green eyes. He once had golden eyes. Now he has green one. Beware the green eye. But now that theory doesn't seem to fit. Illidan's very much on our side, so why would we beware him? I mean, he does say beware a lot, right? Stuff like that. But who knows? I don't think he has anything to do with the green eyes theory anymore. Now, could it be this freaking random-ass trolley / night elf model? It's kind of a stretch, probably. I don't know how important this character is going to be, but we do know she's, I guess, their leader or something. So we'll find out.
That immediately leads us to the very famous quote from nearly a decade ago: "The vessel of life disguises treachery, beware the eyes of greed." Of course, I know, and I don't think Blizzard ever had any of this in mind when they came up with the quote, hence it has been so vague it can really be applied to anything, but I think they may be working off that now. You may be thinking, big deal, are we going to think anyone that has green eyes now is a Dreadlord and will betray us? But as I said at the start, there is an odd collection of evidence that connects this, but also kind of doesn't at the same time. First of all, Orvenia perfectly comes into this quote. She's quite literally, by definition, the vassal of life. Elune created the World Tree. These guys are quite literally her vassals. However, the rabbit hole goes much deeper.
Perfectly timed characters arriving is usually a sign of a Dreadlord. I will say. There's that mage, that fucking mage we talked about not too long ago. You know, we're going to see the fall of Dalaran and everything, and then this mage suddenly reappears on the council. Right, for Dalaran, right before it happens. That's an odd one, right? This mage supposedly died. I forgot his name, man, but we talked about him. He died a long time ago, about 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden he reappears and is re-invited onto the council like right away. It's odd. It's odd. Just before the Dalaran event where Dalaran falls out of the sky. Yeah, these characters reappearing out of nowhere or suddenly perfectly appearing to take on major roles. Yeah, probably a Dreadlord giveaway.
Why this is so interesting. So
there's been the whole talk about Gallywix even being a fucking Dreadlord.
Harronir seem to be able to transform into bats, which kind of plays into the vampiric vibe that I originally mentioned with them. As you may remember, bats were a pretty big deal back in Revendred, and we had seen them everywhere. However, as they're dark trolls, the bat thing is not unnatural whatsoever, especially as they literally live in a cave, and that's usually where you would find bats. These bat models, though, seem really vampiric as well. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all Harronir are Dreadlords, but the idea is that the Nathrezi may have infiltrated them, as this is a common connection point because they had trouble infiltrating life. Let's look back at this quote that definitely plays into this. The famous quote from the lore-shattering book.
I don't know if vampire shit's a dead giveaway, but yeah, their vampiric shit usually does relate to Dreadlords.
Found in the Shadowlands. This went crazy with the Nathrezim lore, as they told us they have agents everywhere. They talked about how life is the most difficult force for them to infiltrate, as it is the polar opposite to their natural form. Hence, they don't even know where to start. This is what they said verbatim. Still, we learned much from observing the link between their plane and Otherworld, and we have high confidence that the vulnerability has been identified. Our operative has already gained the trust of her target. So when you look at it, this quote says a few things. First is that the operative seems to be a female, which plays into the character Orvenia, and that this could be a female Dreadlord. Second, and even more important quote, they talked about how they found this vulnerability through the link between Azeroth and Otherworld. And do you know what connects the two? World trees. Elune and the Winter Queen seem to be sisters. This is the exact same cycle with life being summer, death being winter, so it is all connected. Do you think it is interesting that these guys are the guardians of the first...
Cadence, you're making fun of the her seems female. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But honestly, his world tree connection, it's not too bad of a theory. Because yes, Ardenweald is, they mentioned it, right? The Dreadlords mentioned it, that Ardenweald was their connection to the life plane, basically, to understand how to infiltrate life like us. And hey, there's a old world tree that probably filled in this crater once that we're about to go to in the world within, in the war within. So it makes sense.
First ever world tree. It seems like that when Elune planted the first ever world tree on Azeroth, that is when the connection was created to Otherworld. It could mean that Eluna here, the roots in Khadgar, are literally the source that connects the Shadowlands to Azeroth. However, as I said, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. So we just got some actual quotes from the Harronir in the alpha, and they seem to be constantly mentioning that they are hiding. Obviously, I don't necessarily think this means much, as they probably want to protect the roots while they're surrounded by powerful foes all over the place, and these guys might want to damage the roots. But we have this really strange quote that we just got in the alpha. We're supposed to be subtle, unseen, keep to the brush, hide in our other forms as much as possible. Once again, doesn't mean much, but as I said, there seemed to be a ton of like connecting evidence that is connecting, but it also couldn't be anything at the same time. Do you find it strange that they would highlight this word specifically, the word unseen? As you may know by the lore,
just seems like a Dreadlord thing.
Are most known by their name, the Unseen Guests. Now, a bit of a spoiler here, but Blizzard is already doing the entire disguising plot in War Within with Zealotite infiltrating Dalaran, so that is obviously on their mind. However, the real question is, why exactly would the Net regime infiltrate this random race 5 zones beneath the ground? Isn't there another point to get agents to the positions of power so they can get like big characters like Jaina, Ysera, Malfurion, someone that can actually do things? Well, realistically, the Dreadlords are always many steps ahead, while we lore-wise are just learning now who Zealotite even is, which kind of makes it funny that Blizzard is just mentioning this name in Zealotite in the cinematics, and anyone that has followed the lore more closely knows that we've been talking about her for years. However, she has been at this plan for years, and the Red regime, as far as we know, have a Void agent, so they must have known she would reach Khadgar, they must have known about Khadgar, and this race...
I'm still a bit confused as to how the Dreadlords and the Void are related. I don't know, are they both of the Nether or something? Or the Void is not of the Nether, but how are the Dreadlords connected to the Void? I feel like they're their own, like, offshoot entity. And they just kind of follow the Void around because there's a bunch of shit that'll fall apart when the Void gets there. But I don't know what their actual connection is. And then you hear Denathrius talking about his leader, right? Like who he answers to. We don't know who that is. Is it a Void Lord? They're still very questionable. Like how they work and where they go and what they do and their attachment to the Twisting Nether, their attachment to the Void. So many mysteries about them.
Perfect to infiltrate it if there is the primordial connection to Otherworld. Even more interestingly, in a recent interview, Blizzard stated that there is a map of Khadgar they don't want to reveal in the alpha and the beta as it would spoil the storyline significantly, so there's definitely more to Khadgar than it appears on first glance. Now, I've talked about this for quite a while now. Denathrius is not gone, he's obviously still a major player. Gone. He was in the cliffhanger cinematic at the end of Shadowlands.
He was probably the best thing to come out of Shadowlands, so I think they'll definitely bring him back. He was a hit character for sure.
Ordeal, and he kind of laughed at the jailer and his stupid plan. Realistically, almost all Dreadlord actions wasn't even the jailer, as many people believe, but Denathrius. Everyone seems to be coming for Azeroth in the World Soul Saga. We got the Light, the Void, Elune, the Life, Titan.
Like, where did the freaking Void Lords, Dreadlords fit on these on this Cosmo chart? I don't understand. I've never been able to like put them in a spot.
Why exactly wouldn't that be coming as well? So, while this could all of course be nothing, I would say we should keep an eye out for Orvenia. I mean, the information is super limited right now, but the Dreadlords may actually be coming. Thank you for watching. Check out the identity of Zealotite by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on the cult of Mithras and Roman mythology by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Oh yeah, they're bringing back Daddy. I agree. Daddy Denathrius is coming back. That's a guarantee. In terms of the theory, honestly, I don't think it's that far-fetched. I know Doran stretches things at times, but the whole world tree thing being there, that is yet to be confirmed, but I would say that's probably true. The giant crater being where a world tree once was, the original world tree Elunaria, yeah, I think it's right. And its connection to Ardenweald, that's a confirmed thing. We already know that. So, could it be used by the Dreadlords to infiltrate us even more? Maybe. Maybe. I don't see why not. Pirate Pepe Dreadlord patch. Yeah, of course. Pepe is a Dreadlord. We all know that. We all know that. He is the ultimate Dreadlord. He is the leader. That's who he answers to, actually. I was asking the questions, who does Sire Denathrius answer to? I should have known. He answers to Pepe. That's the true answer.